All right, guys, it's time for tonight's Tool Time Award, and we're giving it to the U.S. Congress. As we told you yesterday, the House Judiciary Committee has been holding a markup hearing on the Stop Online Piracy Act, or SOPA, a broad censorship bill which puts far too much control into the hands of the government to blacklist websites. Now, while opposition has steadily been lining up against this bill, the entertainment lobby is still working very hard to make sure that it gets through, leaving the final decision to the committee before it moves to the floor of the entire House. However, the hearing didn't really get off to quite the start that one would have expected. For starters, there was so much confusion over the bill that they had to actually read through the entire legislation. And as we mentioned yesterday, that was only the beginning of their trouble. At one point, Congressman Steve King decided to share his boredom with his followers on Twitter, and he tweeted the following. He said, "We're debating the Stop Online Piracy Act, and Sheila Jackson has so bored me that I'm killing time by surfing the internet." And apparently, Ms. Jackson was so outraged that she let the entire committee know that she was truly offended, and they spent over 20 minutes discussing the tweet. But that was just the beginning of this pathetic excuse for lawmaking, in which they only got through 20 amendments. Today, during the second day of the hearings, they got through all of 2 amendments, and that's out of 60 total. So as the SOPA hearings continued, the discussion surrounding the new bill revealed how digitally impaired the congressmen really are. And the tech writers of the Twitter sphere who were covering this hearing were pretty quick to share their disgust and disbelief. Here's what one internet law professor tweeted about the hearing, saying, "Quick, guys, let's figure out how this internet thing works." And that pretty much set the theme. According to several tweets from the event, members of the House Judiciary Committee, the ones who don't understand the internet, are basically taking on the people that engineered the internet, the ones that are saying that SOPA is going to screw it up as we know it. Take, for example, Congress member Mel Watt, who stated proudly that he didn't understand technology. According to Julius Sanchez of Cato, Watt thinks that we don't need to hear from tech experts because judges will determine what's bad for cybersecurity. Oh, awesome. Let's rely on the experts, the judges. And that's just skimming the surface of how truly absurd this hearing really was. Now, it became very apparent as to the people that are going to be voting on this bill don't know jack about exactly what they're voting on. And I hate to point it out, but I guess perhaps we should have seen this coming. Members of our government, past and present, have proven that they just don't quite understand all this crazy new technology stuff. And this starts out with John McCain asking if he's a PC or Mac kind of guy, and then it really just goes downhill from there.
I am a illiterate that has to rely on my wife for all of the assistance that I can get.
The internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes. And if you don't understand, those tubes can be filled, and if they're filled, when you put your message in, it gets in line. It's going to be delayed by anyone that puts into that tube enormous amounts of material.
I don't think any of us have a Facebook page or tweet, whatever that is.
Yeah, those guys are the type that are going to be voting on this bill that would essentially kill the internet as we know it. Are you scared yet? Now, you should be, because Tech Dirt is reporting that the Judiciary Committee just announced that they will be returning next Wednesday to continue their quest to destroy the internet. And as I mentioned yesterday, we're only going to see more of this kind of legislation brought up as our world becomes more reliant on technology. So maybe we should get some lawmakers in the mix that are a little younger, a little more tech savvy. So we're going to give tonight's Tool Time Award to members of Congress who think that they can make a decision without doing their homework or even really knowing how the internet works.